Hi people, my name is Janaína. I'm 34 years old. I am from Brazil and I live in Norway now. Today I want to talk about psychological violence. About my experience with psychological violence. I was raised by parents that didn't give me attention and love, and I learned recently that this can cause a lot of problems, including being a person that can be violent. Not everybody is going to be violent, but you can either be violent, psychological, physically, or in crime, or you can be a codependent, that the person that is taking violence in accepting this as a normal in their life. So I've been reading a lot about that and watching a lot of YouTube videos with people with experience with narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic abuse. So I came to a conclusion that I'm the codependent part, the codependent that accepts it, and sometimes I have a hard time, I myself have a hard time to determine what is psychological violence. So we are not in the dark ages anymore, so we can share information. So I feel like it's an obligation of everybody that is enlightened and learning more about themselves, learning more about what violence is, to talk about it. I have one of the YouTubers, her name is Sasha Sloan. I can put the link in the comment section afterwards. That she talks about psychological violence, sociopathic violence, and narcissistic abuse. And she says, well, we have to counter-interact, to fight back. And I really like this. I learned a lot of things with her. So now, when I encounter people that began to be psychological, abusive, and violent to me, I have a counter-interact. But that's how it is. I suffer a lot of this psychological violence. Like when I was young, for example, I always had, I think, good hair, not so curly, not too straight, with volume, love my hair, always love my hair, and I have some crazy problem. I always do like this. Always, if I stop, I'm doing like this. I'm doing like this. When I'm thinking, I'm doing like this. People get annoyed with that sometimes. My father was one of them when I was a kid. And he said that he wanted to do something about that. One day he tried to spank me, so I stopped this. I never stopped that. I have this, I sometimes don't even notice that I'm doing that. So what he did one time, I did something wrong and he wanted to punish me. He just didn't think it was enough just to spank me and torture me. So he said he wanted to cut my hair short like a boy. So then he did. I didn't like it. I cried. Everybody made fun of me in school. Today, I don't think it's a problem to have short hair, but it was a problem then. So it is psychological torture. It is like taking away something that you like, and it's not punishment. You know, it's just psychological. It's not physical. Like, you know, it's nothing that it's just for breaking you down. So I never knew what the rules are and what the psychological people, abusive people do. They have the set rules on their head. They don't talk about it. They don't tell you what is that they wanna, and then you have to be stepping on eggshells. You don't know what to do. What you're gonna do? What is it that you want from me? So when I get married, and there's always this tension in it. The first time I got married, it's always this tension. What is he gonna be mad about now? Do I have any autonomy to do anything on my own? So this is violent. As an adult, I wasn't a full adult when I got married first time, but still, even the kids, I'm raising kids, my daughter is 18 years old now, so they want independence. They want at 13, 14 years old, they want to take decisions and talk back and have arguments. So we need that. But abusers, they want to take you down, to break you. And they want you to follow their agenda. That's what it is. But as Sacha Sloan says, is very nice. It gives me a lot of power, is to counter-interact. Not only, people say, just let it go, don't do anything, it's not worth it, or whatever. But I think that abusers, we have to fight back the abusers, you know. Why do we, as a good people, good citizens, have to take all the abuse, you know? So yeah, I've been using some of these techniques from her, and it's working pretty much. It's really helping my self-esteem. As a grown-up, I'm beginning to think that I'm growing up. So yes, but there is some things also about psychological violence that's not all the time you notice. There is something, like I'm married now, and my husband is from Iceland, and the women are most liberated country in the world is Iceland, but they still, men had from there, or here in Norway also, still struggle to to accept that the women have equality, should have equality. So what happened here with my marriage that I fought back was that because I'm from Brazil and I was used to live by myself with my children before I met him, is that we all share the cars in the house. So everybody does something to help, even the kids when they were babies, when they were 3 years old. One washed the dishes, one put away the dishes, something like that. When he came, he was comfortable in that way, that it wasn't much anything for him to do. So what he did, more or less, more cooking, and he likes the thing. I used to say that's the only thing that he can do in the house. He doesn't know how to clean or something. So, but when he came to Norway, and he didn't find a job, so I just thought, it's just, I still cooked before, but then I said, maybe he has less things to do now. I didn't talk to him about it. I just thought it would be natural that he just gonna cook, and I do the other things. I have work, and I do other things. So so I just understood that would be fair that he could continue to the cooking. But one day he was mad. One day he was mad. He was mad, and I didn't understand what it was. And what is wrong? He said, there's nobody else that cooks in the house, it's only me. He was complaining about that. After years, he complained about that. And I said, you know what, you asshole, you have to be glad that the only thing that you are doing is cooking. The kitchen doesn't clean itself, There's a lot of other things in the house that has to be done. So you should be grateful. I was really mad. You should be grateful the only thing that you do is cooking. And I wake up early in the morning like now, and I clean a little bit, take my coffee before I have to go work. I don't complain about that. Then when it was the next morning, I woke up and I didn't have a job to do that day, but just cleaned downstairs, and I went back to bed, and then he said, "What were you doing, baby?" And I said, "I was doing the things that you think that it's done by themselves. Nobody does it. It's like magic, like Harry Potter." Never again he complained about. Because I fought back, I explained, and I proved my point, and he never complained anymore. Now he cooks, he buys the food, he does everything. So, but this, he simply learned. I didn't know that this was a violence, but it is a violence against women, really. That women are the ones that expect to do everything in a house. They are expected. Some men say, "I help my wife." You're not helping, you have to share. Share the job. Oh, or you should ask. If you are expecting that your wife asks you to do anything in the house, it's because you are giving her one more job that is administrating, to organize and the job in the house that nobody else than her is capable. So in a company, if someone is to share what job's supposed to be done, they have to be paid more. Managing, that's also a violence, expecting that the woman is the only one responsible for everything that happens in the house. I didn't know that. Learning every day, so that's good that people share their experiences. Because every day I learn something. Men should learn how to listen to women, like I said before in my videos, and to stop being abusers. This is abuse. If you expect that you are the only one that's going to work and your wife is the one that has to take care, organize, and managing everything in the house, so there's something wrong with you. So, about this narcissistic personality, sometimes some men that I've encountered in my life are really narcissistic. They just think you're a narcissistic person. Most of them are men. Of course there are women also narcissistic, but most of them are men. They think that they are best, that people should follow the rules, the way they think. They feel that people are objects to be used. And they feel they're smarter than everybody. They're going to be used everybody and not going to get any consequences of it. So, not with me, not anymore. Before, I allow people use me and I fought back. But now, I am. Now I am. Now I'm saying, now I'm demanding what I need, That's... is people that have empathy, people that likes to be empath and likes to put themselves in the shoes of the others, tend to also do that for narcissist, sociopath people. But the problem is they don't do it. So if you're gonna put yourself in the shoes of a narcissist person, if you're gonna take this to them as a punishment, or what a narcissist would do. So you would do nasty things to them because that's what they do to you. So, yes. It's about violence, but I actually like to talk about the narcissist because more and more I learn, more I get satisfied because I fight back and get my revenge. It's like, all things that I went through in my life, I can, now I know, and I'm not going to allow people to use me anymore. So, psychological violence can have long-lasting effects, but we can have the power to fight back and recover from it. Yes. So it wasn't too much said, thank God. So that's all for today. go fight back, learn about cycle of violence. That is very important, because what it is, the cycle of violence, when it starts, if with someone that first they are all good and perfect, then they start devaluating you. So it's very important to learn how to figure what is the cycle of violence. And the cycle of violence always starts psychologically. That's all for today. Beijinhos.